Baltimore City, home to 600,000 people, the Orioles, the nation's second largest aquarium, and a public health crisis. 2 people are dying every day from an opioid overdose. There's a drug that immediately reverses the effects of an OD, so some people survive.
Next thing I knew, the paramedics was picking me up. They was like, "Sir, are you okay? Are you okay?" I didn't know what was going on.
To help keep its residents alive, the city is trying to get this drug, naloxone, better known by its brand name Narcan, into the hands of everyone. It's a tall order, and Baltimore definitely still has some work to do.
I don't know nobody who carried Narcan. When I was on the bus, ain't nobody have any, so I had to wait till the paramedics came. If they would have got there 2 minutes later, I'd have been dead.
And now, this city is running out.
So we have enough money for, think about 5,000 units of Narcan from now until July of 2018. If you gave me 5,000 units of Narcan today, I'll be able to pass them out by the weekend. That's how much demand there is.
In the 1990s, Charm City became the East Coast distribution hub for South American heroin. Overdose deaths tripled, costing the city $2.5 billion a year. Today, the city's battling an opioid epidemic, like so many states across the country. And the president has promised to help repeatedly.
We want to battle drug addiction and combat opioids. It's a national emergency. We're going to spend a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of money. We're going to have a major announcement probably next week on the drug crisis and on the opioid massive problem.
A declaration of state of emergency releases resources right now. Frankly, I'm sick of us talking about addiction as an emergency.
Through declaring a state of national emergency, the president could choose to prioritize a public health approach, or a tough-on-crime approach, or perhaps he could choose a balance of both.
The federal government should negotiate the price of naloxone and make it available at a much discounted rate.
In the meantime, the city has to ration its dwindling supply by prioritizing communities that are most at risk.
Have you ever used it on anybody before?
Actually, yes, I have.
This is Baltimore's community risk reduction van. It's been around for more than 3 decades. The van travels around the city, supplying residents with clean needles, insulin, and Narcan.
There was a gentleman one afternoon that was in this vicinity, and he was not coherent at all. And like 3, shaking him, 2, 1, and 2 shots. Yeah, and a couple of minutes later, like 2 minutes later, he was able to get up on his own and be responsive.
And it is a panicking situation because you have someone that's dying.
Literally.
Yeah, they're dying. And if it wasn't for this, there would be a lot more deaths.
There just aren't enough government officials, police officers, EMT people to combat this alone.
For every 11 units of naloxone that we hand out, 1 unit is used to save 1 person's life.
2 years ago, Narcan became more accessible in Maryland.
Starting tomorrow, anybody trained to administer a drug that reverses the effects of an overdose can get it without a prescription.
Prior to June the 1st, you needed complicated prescriptions and training to get Narcan. Then, on June the 1st,
Baltimore City Health Commissioner Dr. Lena Wen is going to sign that new order, which would make naloxone available over the counter.
all they need to do is bring in the ID, go to the pharmacy, and say, I'd like to have a Narcan.
But are people doing that? Are people taking advantage?
No. As Yogi Berra would say, it's so easy, it's hard.
Norman owns a pharmacy in southwest Baltimore. And since his customers don't know to ask for Narcan, Norman makes sure they leave with it anyway.
To have it in their hands is better than sending the family down to the morgue to identify them. If they're living, there's still the chance that they'll get into a program.
Between January and March of this year, 100 more people overdosed and died than last year within that same time frame.
I'm going back into treatment, new way of life, so I'm just kind of nervous, you know. get nervous. I'm terrified, you know, because this is my life. This is my life, and I can't just throw it away.
Narcan won't solve this multifaceted problem, but ultimately, no one can get treatment if they're dead.
We who are on the front lines, we know exactly what needs to be done. We don't need help with getting it done, except with one thing, which is with the resources. If we're running out of money for something as basic as Narcan, think about what else can be done if we just had the resources.